Welcome to the Lady Walker Show. I am Maggie Christain McGriggs, co-host with the fabulous Lady Walker, and I want to thank her for giving me an opportunity to host her show today. Joining me is an upcoming author, Justin Johnson. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, it is my pleasure. And I want to just jump right in here. I want to know all about you, first of all.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Hollis Springs, Mississippi, and I got my degree from Jackson State University in finance. And, while I was there, I was just on a journey of just trying to discover on basically who I was and, what direction I wanted to head. And I didn't really learn it there.
Okay.
It really didn't really begin until after I graduated. And that's when I started a family. And once I started my family, then that's when life kind of to come at me and the things that I learned.
Reality.
Yes. And the thing that I learned, the lessons that I learned as a youngster, I had to actually apply them in life.
Right,
and
right.
to this day, that's what I'm still doing. And so that's what brought me here.
Okay. Well, go ahead and tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, me and my wife, we have 3 children. We have, my oldest is 4, her name is Aubrey. My son, his name is Justin Jr. And then our daughter, Zoe, she's the newborn. She's 11 months. She'll be 12 on. She'll be 1 year old on the 29th.
12 months. Okay,
Right. Yes,
I got you. Well, very good. When I looked at little Justin, I said, Justin Jr.
That's
because
right.
he looks just like you.
He does.
Excuse me. But of course, all your children, and looking at them, they have your features. So those are daddy's children.
Thank you.
All right, and tell me a little bit about your wife. You didn't mention her name.
Well, my wife's name is Aquila Johnson. She's from Coffeyville, Mississippi.
Okay.
And she has been my manager, my companion, my friend, my lover, everything in the mix, and she's just been putting up with me along this journey. So,
How long have you been married?
me and her have been married for 3 years. We've been knowing each other for 5.
Okay,
So,
very good. Now, you said that she's just about your everything, your manager and everything.
yes, ma'am.
That's what we are, Justin.
That's true.
We are designed that way. We are helpmates.
That's right.
So that's what we
Yes,
do.
ma'am.
I always tell my husband that I'm helping him to work the plan.
Right.
Amen.
That's right.
Okay.
So I want to thank her for definitely all the support that she gives me.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, now the reason that you are here is because I met you a few weeks ago in the place where you are employed.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I was, looking at some furniture.
That's right.
And of course, my husband is a jokester, and so we all just connected and got to talking and everything. And you and he were talking about something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember telling you these words. I said, be sure and put that in your book.
That's right.
Because I know you're writing one.
Yes, ma'am. You did.
And then you said, how do you know?
That's right, because I was definitely writing.
Justin, I actually didn't know that, but I say that was the Holy One who inspired me to say that, because I'd never met you before. I didn't know anything about you or what you were doing, but I'm so glad that I did and that you could come on the show today.
Yes, ma'am.
So I
Thank you.
want you to tell me just a little bit about your book, because you mentioned a word that has stuck with me. You said journey.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, basically, my book is about my journey, and it starts from, I basically sum it up in the beginning of time, and I just basically use my art of storytelling to actually write a book. And so when I was actually in my hometown, me and my wife was going through a lot, and so what I did was just write down just certain key notes and key information to kind of help us get throughout the day and get through our journey.
Okay.
And what ended up happening is those key notes and just a little short quotes turned into chapters and and like footnotes, and that kind of put forth the effort towards making the dream the reality. And so like now, I started just writing it while I was at work out of frustration. And I sent it to my wife, and next thing I know, she wrote me back and said that she had typed it up, and that's kind of how the journey began, because I never would have actually put forth the effort if she hadn't actually put forth the legwork behind the scenes to make it come into reality. So.
Very good. So now that is spiritual, because what you're doing, you were actually writing the plan.
That's right.
And that's what we have to do. We got to write it down.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm guilty of not doing that lots of times. I used to journal all the time. I could probably write a book too, but
You should. I really encourage you to. And something of the art, the best part about writing is, you know, one of the first verbs in the Bible is, you know, God created, and you know, so He wants us to create. And
Right.
I love the art of writing because you are creating, you know, your dreams and turning them into a reality. And basically, it's like a to-do list. And every day you check those things off on your list that you've done. And what I enjoy about the journey is, as I get down the line and I may hit another wall, I always have that paper trail that allows me to pull up, you know, what God has brought me through, and allows me to keep pressing forward because I know that promise is coming to what I wrote down. So.
Hallelujah, you gonna make me shout a bit.
Yes, ma'am. It's worth the praise.
I am so inspired that a young man like you already has that concept of how you're supposed to walk it out.
That's right.
And I like that because nowadays so many people depend on something or someone else to do things for them.
That's
but
true.
You already got it. You're following God's plan for your life, and that is an awesome thing.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I just want to commend you for your walk, and I know that you are such a blessing to your family because you got it. I actually, when I'm talking to my sons, you know, sometimes we wonder when they're growing up if they're really getting it.
Right.
And they inspire me too because sometimes things that I've taught them or trained them or what they've learned in the Word, when we're talking in everyday conversation, it'll come up.
That's right.
And I'll be like, oh God, I thank you. They got it.
That's right.
So I know that your parents are very excited about that too. Can you tell me a little bit about, you know, your parents?
Sure.
Yes.
I was raised by my mom and my stepdad.
Okay.
And they actually, you know, laid a lot of groundwork into the way that I think and the way that I operate. Now, I also want to credit my biological father because he did indirectly.
Very
and, you know,
good.
so I learned a lot through just their eyes. And then my mom had 5 children.
Okay.
And so I'm the baby out of all of those.
Oh, okay.
And so, and growing up, I actually got to see life through their eyes. And, you know, a lot of times I didn't really understand what was going on. I just kind of just felt like, hey, if I had a dream, I needed to spit it out and just share it with the world. And, you know, without even having a plan to even make it come into existence.
Right.
But what ended up happening is, you know, they always say, just keep living. You always hear, you know, the other people say, keep living.
Yes.
And as I have continued to live, then those dreams and the things that I thought of as a youngster, it really came into reality, and I learned how to actually put together a plan and learn how to just really just step out on faith and just make take the right step in making those dreams come into reality. So,
right. And
I credit that to my parents.
Okay. I like what you said though. You said that you would speak your dreams.
That's right.
So what you did, you actually planted a seed.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you said you would write it down. So you came back and you watered that seed.
That's right.
And now you're just waiting for God to give the increase.
That's right.
So I like that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, look, Justin, we are going to have to take a break.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
But we'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Welcome back to the Lady Walker Show. Again, I am Maggie Christain McGriggs, and joining me is Justin Johnson. Now, Justin is an upcoming author. He's actually got a book that is finished, but working on like publication and book cover designs and things like that. So I'm going to let Justin share some more with you.
All right.
Okay, Justin, go ahead and give us the name of your book.
Okay. The title of my book is called Turning the Tables Forward. And basically it speaks of just my journey in sales and leadership and how I was able to, you know, not only help others combat their life and situation, but now I'm actually applying those same lessons to my own life and allowing it to actually help me get over my whatever is actually hindering me from getting to the next level. And so each chapter speaks to a different phase in life where, you know, any one person can start at the very beginning or in the very end, but it's like a continuation cycle of the different journeys that you'll go on in life. And one chapter is, for example, is basically just understanding yourself, understanding who you are, where you're headed, and what you're trying to accomplish in life. Another chapter is just planning, and another chapter is, you know, just allowing the process to take its course. And, you know, so each chapter speaks directly to each different respective challenge, and just overcoming those. And I share stories on how I overcame those experiences, and I want to share it with everyone else.
Okay, well, I like that. I like that. Now, tell me a little bit, before you share some excerpts from your book, tell me a little bit about the whole process of publishing a book. You have to get publishers.
Yes, you do have to you have to get publishers, but I'm actually going the self-published route. And so they have it's a whole lot easier than it used to be. And you can actually just, get on the web and just kind of Google what it requires to actually self-publish your book. Now that will mean that you're in the driver's seat of your book. So you have to, have experience or actually create opportunities for yourself. So, my experience in marketing, sales, and just networking, things like that is, I had to recall and like my mom say, open my back door and just see where God has brought me from and where I am now, and just apply those lessons to today. And this is what brought me here. So
very good. So now, do you have to get copyright and all that?
Yes.
You can do that even on the computer.
Yes,
program.
You actually do that when you sign up for a self-publishing company. Then they actually will set up the copyrights and everything for you.
Oh, okay,
so, yes,
very good. So now, when do you think your book's coming out, Justin?
It should be ready to go around May or early spring or late spring or early summer.
Very good, very good. Well, okay, go ahead and share some with us from your book.
I sure will.
Okay.
All right, so this is from my the beginning of my book, this is really just titled "How Great Is Your Testimony?" How great is your testimony? This is an important question to ask yourself as you continue on your journey of success. I believe that the bigger the struggle, the bigger the blessing has to be. One thing that I am not welcoming of is struggling. I hate the idea of not being able to control certain situations that I face daily in life. I wish there was an easy button to wash away all the struggles of life. While some things are more challenging to deal with, such as death, I do believe it is necessary to eliminate as much added pressure as possible. What if I would have made wiser decisions? Or what if I had to stay with certain companies? Would my outcome be any different? I have learned that while you can control certain parts of your destiny, other parts are enabled by family traits. The old saying, "You reap what you sow," speaks volume to this scenario. I do believe that a lot of what I have faced over the years has been the consequences of my own actions. Some of it has to do with the seeds that have provided me life. In other words, the seeds that my ancestors planted for me. Struggles are a combination of both direct and indirect action. I believe that your struggle can be overcome if you have the proper strategy to see yourself through to the end. But you do have to endure something in order to have a story to share with the next person. When I ask, how great is your testimony? It is a question that speaks directly to your struggle. I believe that while I know I am not the only one who wants better out of life, the reality makes it hard to believe that I am not alone. But along this journey, I met someone that raised the thought for me to remain devoted to changing my outcome, because my story will only help others who were just like me. My goal would be for them to be wise and avoid the things that they can avoid, because in due time, they will face the challenges that they cannot.
Very good. Okay. Excuse me. And Justin, I like that you're talking about the struggle.
Yes, ma'am.
And I like that because that's what so many people talk about now.
That's right.
They don't talk about the income. It's what they're going through and the struggle that they encounter while they're going. That's why, the rap singers and stuff like that, it's about a struggle.
That's right. It is exactly.
And some people don't really like rap music. I like some of it. I like the beat. I don't like those that have that profanity and stuff in there.
Ma'am.
But I do know that rap music is basically people telling their life story.
That's right.
And that's what you're doing in your book. You're telling the story. So
that's
I like
exactly
that.
what it is.
But you got a master plan here to back up what you're talking about. I was thinking as you were reading that, there's something that I said one time God has done tremendous things in my life, and
Amen.
I give him the glory for it. But one time I was going through something, and once I had my breakthrough on that, and this is what I said. I just talked to the Father, just like I do, to you.
Exactly.
Just,
yes, ma'am.
We just talk.
A normal conversation.
So this is what I told him. I said it backwards, but I told Father, I said, go ahead and start what you finished.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, but the world would say, finish what you started. And so that's what I said. I said, oh, Father, I said that backwards. And he said, no, you didn't, because it is finished. But we have to walk it out, just like you're saying. There's a process. So we're at the finish line, but we still got to walk it out. So we have to start it.
That's right. We have to start it.
We have to start it. He's already done for us what needs to be done. But we, like you said, our actions, our choices determine if we're going to walk that walk like we're supposed to. So that is so important. I just really like that.
Yes, ma'am. Well,
it made me want to testify.
And also just remembering, what God has already taken you through. It's not, it's so easy to get, something that I always tell my family members is, when you're driving down the highway, life is taking you on a fast course. And what you have to learn how to do is, what I share with my family is, learn how to actually crawl. Learn how to crawl, then learn how to walk, then learn how to run, then learn how to sprint. I really say that I never want to be in the driver's seat, because that means that I'm in control, and God is not in control.
Right.
So he will allow me to get to a full sprint, and my goal is to sprint as fast as he'll allow me to go. But I don't ever want to consider myself in the driver's seat. You see that saying, God is my co-pilot. No, he is my driver.
Amen.
And as long as he's driving, then I know that the responsibility that he has over me, that he's going to take it and he's going to be serious about the responsibility. And all I have to do is just trust and believe that he's going to provide the things that he said that he's going to provide for me.
Yes. And that is major. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Of course, it's time for us to take another break. But I do want to talk about the trust and the belief in that, because that's where a lot of people, everybody has faith, but everybody doesn't operate in faith.
That's right.
And so that's what's going on now a lot in the world with the election that's taking place and everything. People just wondering what's going to happen. The government is up on his shoulders.
That's right.
Amen.
Yes, ma'am. Amen.
Okay. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
All right.
Thank you, Justin Johnson. And we'll be right back with the Lady Walker Show. Welcome back to the Lady Walker Show. And joining me again, Justin Johnson, an author. Give me the name of your book again.
Turning the Tables Forward. Turning
the Tables Forward. Now, let's talk a little bit about the process of writing your book, the timing of it. You told me you had been writing, I'll say tidbits.
Right.
And then you decided to turn that into a book. So tell me about the process, I guess is what I'm wanting.
Okay. Well, I started writing this book at the beginning of this year. And really what allowed me to channel and go ahead and finish, which allowed me to focus and go ahead and finish writing it, was just anger and frustration. And, there's many different challenges that we face in life. I am a husband, and, I'm also a provider, and, I'm a father and things like that. So, there's many different challenges that you face throughout life. And, I always say that, successful people are working even when everybody else is sleeping. True. So I like to see myself as a success way before, I experienced that opportunity of what success is, I guess. Okay. And so, and what has happened was, just out of anger and frustration, I learned how to just channel my aggression. And, what I did was I just wrote everything down, and since I already had my chapters and I turned those tidbits into actual chapters, I just started filling in the blanks on every chapter. Okay. And I was actually able to write the body of each chapter within 2 months, and it really again came out of frustration and anger. Okay. And the process really allowed me to actually just enjoy the many details of actually writing it. And what happened was, along actually writing it, I always had those deep thoughts in the back of my mind, like, okay, what's next? How would I get to this point? How am I gonna get my book out there? Like, how am I gonna get people to buy in what I'm trying to teach them or show them
Okay.
And that's when, I've learned that, how faith works is when you're uncomfortable, when you're actually relying on faith. If you're just sitting in the mode and just, expecting life to just happen, then that means that you're very comfortable and you're not relying on faith. It goes back to the driver's seat, that means you're in the driver's seat and, you don't want to be in the driver's seat. You want to be uncomfortable because that means you are stretching out and reaching for your highest potential.
And sometimes we can't get in that comfort zone and God will pull us out.
That's right.
If we're not just going ahead and yielding.
That's right. And so
he'll allow something to occur where we won't be in that comfort zone again. And that's certainly a big step. People don't like change.
And so he made my nest uncomfortable, and to speak to what you're talking about. And so the reason I was able to write it so fast is, just being in an environment where you are in control of your income and relying on someone else to buy a product from you. He taught me that it's more meaningful to have a product that I fully want to support and stand behind. And if I'm going to have a 0 day, I might as well have a 0 day on a product that's more meaningful to me. So this is really where the idea of my book came from. And after that, making my nest uncomfortable, I just kept telling my wife that I know that he really wants me to do this. I don't know where the income is going to come from right now. I don't know, how in the world we're going to make it, but I do trust in God and I know his promise. And I have to do what he asking me to do. Because if I do not, then that means I'm not, really abiding by his law. So. Right.
Amen. Yes, so I like that. And so you believe in this thing.
Yes, ma'am. I believe
so nobody can talk you out of this. You know that this is what you're supposed to do.
Because when I read the story myself, I can't even tell that I wrote it. And so that's how I know the Holy Spirit was in me as I'm writing the story. Now, when I come across certain parts of the story where I know it's my childhood, I kind of laugh at it. But the overall gist of the story, it's just mind blowing to me how good it is. And so I really encourage everyone to actually, really look into the story and see for yourself how it can actually inspire you, because it's very inspiring.
And you said that a lot of this came out of discomfort or frustrations.
Yes, ma'am.
And because when I journal, sometimes when I'm frustrated, I write that down.
That's right.
And so this actually is like it kind of relieves it.
Yes,
relieves
the
stress of it. Because I know now I'll read your book because reading relieves my stress.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I do. I like to get in my closet or my throne room, as my boys used to call it, and I just like to read.
Yes, ma'am.
So
and I speak to that in my book as well, about understanding yourself.
Right.
And before you can understand yourself, before you can enjoy those moments of what you like to do, you have to understand yourself. And so that's what I learned from writing my book. I learned that I like to write. I learned that I like to read. I learned that I like bonding with my family. And after learning those different things, I put those into play, and I made my life work around those things that was important for me. And now that I have, when I do go to interviews and I go to different opportunities, I always tell whoever on the opposite side is that, hey, this actually has to work around the things that I believe in. And I show that daily by, from any experience that I go through.
Oh, okay, very good. I know that your family is watching this right now, and I hear that somebody's getting a little restless. Because they can just hold on just a little bit longer. But it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay.
Yes,
tell me about the financial part of this. Is it very expensive to get your book published since you're doing self-publishing?
The most amazing part about research is I found out that self-publishing is actually free.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So,
very
really
good.
It's all about just time and just putting together a strategy to make it happen. So of those who actually believe that you are a good writer or a poet or things like that, write it all down, create your journal, and from there, then, just look at ways to how to actually turn that from being just something written into something that actually can, produce for you. And that may be the gift that God gave you, is the gift of writing or the gift of speaking. And now that you have that gift, allow it to blossom. And that's when your many blessings come in from that one gift. Okay.
Tell me the name of the book again.
Turning the Tables Forward. And again, and what that last part forward means is, you have so many different challenges going on in your life, and no matter any type of rejections or drawbacks you have in life, it's basically just turning those around for the good and allowing it to pressing forward towards where you really want to be in life.
All things work together for our good.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now how can people get in touch with you if they need to?
Well, I have a Facebook page, Justin K. Johnson. That's my professional page, and then I also have a writing blog. If you don't mind, let me look at that.
All right.
And my writing blog is writingmotivates.wordpress.com, and you can check out a lot of my different blogs on there. My blog title is Just Mr. Johnson.
All right. Okay. Well, it's time for us to take another break.
Yes, ma'am.
But you are inspiring me. I think I might write a book one day.
Amen.
All right. All right. Well, we'll be right back with the Lady Walker Show. All right, we are back with the Lady Walker Show. Justin Johnson, his book's about to come out pretty soon. We want everybody to get it. And so for you to be able to do that, I'm going to let him give you his information again. The title of the book, your Facebook page, your blog.
Yes,
Let's
ma'am.
have it.
The title of my book is called Turning the Tables Forward. And you can follow me and just keep up to date on the different information. And I also, on my Facebook page, I share like different posts of like different parts of my book with you. I don't give the whole book out, but I do give like different parts
Just
of
enough
it.
to get
So
you-
you can
Yeah.
stay tuned in and to knowing what's going on. But my Facebook page is Justin K. Johnson, and you can go on there and like my page, and I definitely respond back, look at what I already have on there, and just give me some feedback. Let me know what you think about it, and I'll definitely address those information. And also I have a blog, and my blog is titled Just Mr. Johnson, and you can reach me at writingmotivates.wordpress.com.
Well, Justin, it has been such a pleasure to
Yes,
interview
ma'am.
you today. Hopefully, once the book is published, you can come back
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we can show it and let everybody see how good it looks and everything. I'm just believing that everything's going to be great for you.
Thank you.
And when that book comes out, I want my copy autographed.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Sure will.
right.
Thank you so much.
I'm
I
cheering you
appreciate
on.
it.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
giving you a shout out. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm excited.
Justin Johnson, his book's coming out in the upcoming month, and we want everyone to purchase that book. Thank you for joining us on the Lady Walker Show. Again, thanks to Lady Walker for letting me host her show, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.